Welcome. And like I told you earlier on, we'll be looking at teenage business. First, on Talking Point, we'll be looking at teenage business, and we are looking at the Teenagers Growing Businesses Club. Teenagers Growing Businesses Club. I have had an interaction with them, and so I knew that Nigerians had a lot to learn from these very young people who were starting a business or starting to learn how to do business. Well, the Teenagers Growing Businesses Club is a platform to nurture business ideas in teenagers in Nigeria. Novel, you will say, very novel. After taking part in the program, several teen participants have gone to successfully launch their teen businesses. The program, which started in 2014, holds quarterly workshops throughout the year featuring key business experts as speakers, as well as exhibitions for the teen businesses and web clinics. Mentoring is also provided for the participants to work with for guardians. Now, since inception, 6 workshops have been hosted with over 100 students participating. Now, past teen growing business club speakers have included Imevbore Ohiomokhare, well, yours truly, Fidelis Anosike, Evelyn Opuchu, who is the former managing director of the Bank of Industry, Doyin Adewola, the MD of Box Office, and Michelle Elegbe. Now, the program is soon to be integrated into schools for improved impact. Now, guess what? We have the founder of that program, and you will not believe it. She's a teen. She's a teenager. You would have thought that this idea would have come from adults themselves, but it had to come from a teenager. Well, congratulations to Nnoli Edozien, founder and the creator of this program. Welcome to the program, Amma.
Thank you.
Amma, how old are you?
I'm 17.
You're now 17.
Yes.
When you started this program, you were in 17.
I was 16.
You were 16, that's a year ago. Okay, with her is the program officer who is an adult. Please don't be deceived by her small size. She's not a teenager anywhere. She's much more than a teenager. She's the facilitator, the program manager rather, of the Teen Growing Businesses Club. Zainab Haruna.
Good afternoon, sir.
You've been on Global Business on another platform before, but it's good to have you right here on the program. Well, let me just tell you a bit about our guest. Nnoli Edozien is an advocate for productive youth engagement, especially in the area of youth enterprise. In February 2014, Amma created the Teenagers Growing Business Club, a platform to encourage teenagers to develop and act upon their business ideas to set up successful businesses. Now, Amma, I'll start with you. What inspired you to have this idea? I mean, something always inspires an idea.
Yes.
What inspired your idea?
Quite a couple of things. One thing, GBF.
What's GBF?
Growing Businesses Foundation.
Okay.
It's my mother's foundation.
Oh, it's your mother's foundation. And for those of you who don't know her mother is Nnoli Edozien, who is of course very popular for trying to do a lot of things. He's into many things now, but let's go on.
Well, I saw that was for adults, and I thought there should be something for teenagers as well, because we have ideas too.
Good.
And it's not bad to start early. So, do you want to say anything else?
No, go on. I will ask her a question. You say something. You say something.
So that's why the idea came across, because teenagers should have a platform as well.
Now you saw the Growing Business Foundation. You saw adults, your mother's foundation, trying to do something for adults to build their business skills, and you thought that teenagers. Don't you think that teenagers are too young to build business skills?
No.
Why?
I've been told that a lot, and I've seen across the world and in Nigeria teenagers, young adults who are making their footprint on the world. For example, I think Mark Zuckerberg, he started young, and he made Facebook, which is now a multi-millionaire platform. And it's teenagers shouldn't be restricted by their age. They should only be able to do it because of their ability, and we have our own ability to do so.
Very good. You have your own ability. Zainab, now what inspired you to join this project? Because you ain't a teenager. You're the program officer of the project.
First of all, all women are always 16, so I am forever a teenager. But when Amma came to meet us at the Growing Business Foundation, where I work, and she goes, you're doing all of this work for adults, what about the teenagers themselves? What are you doing for them? And that's how we started that. So far, what inspired me is, typically I do a lot of work with youths. That's the bracket that I'm focused on. But we felt he's a young teen who has this wonderful idea. We should do all we can to support her. And so what we've been doing so far, we've hosted like 6 workshops. We've had 100 students take part in that. We've been in 3 states, in Lagos State, in Abuja, and then we were at Kogi State. We focused on 3 main areas: entrepreneurship, which is key for us, also education, and then we also want to make sure the financial literacy aspect is key for us. Amma herself she also has a talent. She writes.
Oh, she writes?
Yes.
Good.
In 2014.
I see that you did an internship with Arise News Station with 3 firms. You've actually, with a law firm. You've also done an internship with a law firm and a publishing house, Kachifo Publishing House. Now, I was going to let's go to the nitty-gritty of what you teach these teenagers.
Okay.
Knowing that teenagers have a capacity on which to absorb things. So to what extent do you teach them business?
Okay. We are not focused on, like we always tell our teenagers who are part of the program, we're not focused on making sure that they start up the business and they're making millions today. What we are focused on is trying to ensure that they have key foundation in business, helping them grow their ideas so that if in the future they now start to actively implement, it becomes easier for them. A lot of the time what we found is that organizations tend to look at youths, to look at adults, like Amma has said, in trying to encourage businesses. But at that point it becomes, there are so many, life has gotten to them, it becomes difficult. You're an entrepreneur, but you're also looking at all the other challenges that you have. And so we've decided to catch them early. So we try to make sure that whatever it is that we teach them, it doesn't take away from their schoolwork. We hold 3 workshops every year. They are quarterly workshops, so it's flexible for them. Usually it happens when even they're on holidays, like the ones that we just had. Then we also make sure that at the end, we host a fair. So whatever it is that they've learned, whatever it is that they've done, they can then go to the fair and showcase. We actually have a few successes that we've had from our program to show that it can be done. We're not just trying to force them to do things. And maybe Amma would like to speak on that, the few successes that we've had.
I was going to ask, what is your role right now? You founded it and it's like it's been taken out of your hands, isn't it?
Well,
are you still actively participating in trying to train the teenagers?
I'm actively participating.
Okay.
I speak at the clubs when they come. There are some problems with when I go to school. It's hard to participate.
What school are you in?
I'm at North Manhattan.
Where's that?
In Massachusetts.
Okay.
America.
And you're in college?
High school.
High school. Okay. Okay. Now, what are the successes? Tell us about some of the successes.
There are the fact that teenagers are learning these sort of things in their youth when they're able to make mistakes and they're not as great consequences as when they're older. A business success is Q-Valor.
What's Q-Valor?
It's a business that was set up by 3 of the first TGBC participants.
Okay.
And they sell handbags, they sell books, they
make these things themselves?
Handmade.
Handmade.
Handmade handbags by the teenagers themselves. Wow.
They also sell chocolates and drinks at their schools, and they also sell at the fairs, at the TGBC fairs.
And these are sold how? How are they sold? Do you teach them how to sell?
So we have 3 workshops, like I mentioned before. We have 3 workshops in a year. We have the business clinic, which basically provides the foundation. What is a business idea? How do you get an idea? It comes from passion, it comes from knowledge. How do you make, so you make sure that you're doing something in an area that you are passionate about. Then we talk to them about branding, how they have a business, they have a product. How do you package it so that people actually want to buy these things? Then we also have the leadership clinic, which basically has to do with improving the kids, self-improvement, leadership skills, how to work in teams, how to look at key milestones, how to make sure they work together to ensure that they have the product. And actually, the Q Valor that Amma mentioned, they had an exhibition. They had an exhibition earlier this year, where which we helped host. They showcased their products to the public, so people came and actually looked at what they had and then bought from them.
I know that I asked how they sell, actually, because I know my son is one of your participants.
Yes.
And when he came home, he said he started his blog. He
Yes.
has a blog now.
Yes.
And I was wondering, what is a 14-year-old boy doing with a blog?
Okay.
So tell me, what inspires such? What do you see in the kids to say, okay, this is what you should go for?
Well, I would say that everybody has a passion.
Okay.
Mine is writing.
You have a blog?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
It's a short story blog.
Okay.
The thing is that you can build on those passions and make something of it. So if you want to be a writer, you can use your blog and you can advertisement that brings in money if that's what you're looking for. But if you just want to write, that's good too. If you want to do photography, you can make a business out of photography. You have to look into yourself to find out what you want to do with your life.
That's very different from what we used to hear those days. I mean, when we were growing up, you're either a lawyer, a doctor, or, something that everyone had class, and now you're telling me about photography, blogging. I mean, have times changed?
Yes, times have definitely changed. We also have another group of students who started it's a blog as well, but it's an online hub where people can go and access info. It's for students. So if I'm in secondary school, I can go on there, see what the latest competitions are for secondary school students, what essays are there, what opportunities, scholarships, which school is having an event that I might want to attend as an in-school, as a teenager. So it's like a hub where people just go and access different information, and they call it student telepathy. When your son attended and learned we taught them about how to manage online media. So many times we see teenagers go on, they have Facebook accounts, they have Twitter accounts, they have Instagram, but it's purely social. So they just post pictures about themselves and all the activities that they do. But we're trying to see how can they use that to manage whatever it is, whatever their interest is. How can they use that platform to share that information? Like Amma has mentioned, she has her own blog where she puts short stories. She's a writer. Your son also is interested in writing. He's interested in speaking. He talks about, I've had several chats with him where he's keenly interested in leadership and public speaking. So that's a platform where he can use to push that information. So we taught them online media skills, how to manage all the social media platforms creatively, to communicate whatever their passion is. So that's how that came about.
You said you were trying to integrate this into schools. Let's wrap up now. You said you were trying to integrate this into schools.
Yes.
What's your plan for that?
Okay. We've actually been to a school. We're starting with one, and so that we can have try out, see what works, what doesn't work, and then we can now look at replicating across different states. We went to a school in Lokoja, Kogi State, and we're in discussions with them. We're hoping to start up in September when the next school session kicks off. So that's the plan.
I think we would stick with that school for a year.
Okay.
That's the whole, so we see the whole
So it's
program.
like a pilot project?
Yes, in schools.
In schools.
Yes.
So the Kogi one would be like a pilot project for the schools. And I hope you haven't chosen Kogi because you're from Kogi. But anyway, let's wrap it up. You have one last word before you go. Encouragement to teenagers, those who may be more interested in dancing and singing, and may want to see how this can bring money for them, and not necessarily being doctors.
We have a violinist at TGBC.
Yeah, we do actually.
Yes.
Violinist and guitarist.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think I'd like to say that there are things that people say you can't do. There are things they say because perhaps they can't do it, or they couldn't do it, or they were told that they couldn't do it, so they never tried. But there's always a chance that you can try it and you can work, and it can work for you, because one man's food is another man's poison, and there's no harm in trying. And I think that's what TGBC is doing. We're giving people the platform to try their ideas at a young age, and see how it goes.
Thank you very much, Amma. Zainab, just in 10 seconds.
Okay, I would encourage every young teenager out there to, like Amma said, look beyond the boundaries that have been set for you. We have lots of teenagers around the world who are millionaires. You know, they are 16, they are 15, but they're making money. But what we want to say is that don't look at, there's a box, think as if, don't even think as if outside the box, think as if there is no box. So set your goals and aim for them. Yes.
Think that there is no box. Don't think outside the box, but think that there is no box. Thank you very much for coming on the program from the Teenagers Growing Business Foundation, or Teenagers Growing Business Club.
Thank you for having us.
We want to thank Amma, Nnoli Edozien, and Zainab Haruna for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And if you want to know more about them, of course, you can tweet at me at Imevbore Ohio or Global Business on AIT. That's our Facebook page. Ask the questions and we will respond to your questions. And we'll take a break right now. When we come back, we'll be talking housing.